Okay, now we can start. So you can read the question and then we will try to have the answers. I hope so. This time the same kind of questions are there.
Company has an application that stores sensitive data. The company is required by government regulations to store multiple copies of its data, which would be the most resilient and cost-effective option uh, to meet this requirement.
Right. It's clear cut
Okay.
saying you have the sensitive data. Okay, and it's clear
Mhm.
cut saying like you would like to follow some government rules and regulation and stuff as well. Like cost effective. One of the most cost effective storage is what?
Hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I thought that there was another answer for it, no? That acha, it is a storage. It stores multiple copies
Copies. Yeah,
of
this is
data,
also
right?
important thing. Yeah,
And
multiple
is
copies of the
required
data.
to what is the most resilient and cost-effective option to meet this? And storage gateway won't be the answer.
No, 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 no. How storage gateway? We last time have seen one of the most cost effective storage is S3 only. It's not a
No,
storage
no,
gateway.
wait. I am saying storage gateway won't be the answer. So I'm
Okay,
just
okay, okay,
removing.
okay. Okay, elimination
Okay. So
process. Okay.
anyways, you told the
Okay.
answer in the process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But as an RDS, I can't recall what it is.
RDS actually RDS is also good option to have the what to say the storage of your data, but it's not what to say not that much cheap like S3. Okay, S3 is for the simple storage service for the public objects. Okay, RDS is like a relation database system only, but as part of the RDS,
Hmm.
different kind of categories are coming like SQL
Okay.
database, right? And we have seen the
Okay.
DynamoDB. So the most cost effective will be the
That is
Amazon.
not required. Yeah,
Right,
that is not
right.
called out to be.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
okay, so that we can cancel.
yeah.
EFS can be attached only with one instance. So does that
No,
make
EFS is not specific to the instant. That is the EBS, Elastic Block Storage, not
elastic block
EFS.
storage?
That is
This is
different.
file
This is
storage. This is
yeah,
file
this is the
storage.
file storage. It's it,
Then
it's
why not this?
it's also expensive kind of thing. You cannot go for this. It's asking for the cost effective. See, whenever anybody is asking you to identify the cost effective, na, so one of the most
Hmm.
cost effective you are supposed to know which will be the most cost effective here. So out of three,
Okay.
this is the only one which is the most cost effective. It's not giving you any kind of conditions here. Okay. So once we will go through the conditions like specific to the instance, then it's EBS. If I'm saying
Hmm.
common across the availability zones, then you can think about the EFS with some security protocols, right? So that kind of situation
Hmm.
we are going to see. But as of now, one of the most cost effective, and you can have the multiple copies, that is the Amazon S3.
Hmm.
But the
Okay.
visibility, yeah.
Hmm.
It's number second, please.
Company is using AWS key management service to secure their Amazon RDS database. An
Mhm,
auditor has recommended that the company log all use of their AWS KMS keys.
mhm,
Okay, trail some.
mhm.
Okay, what is the simplest solution?
Yeah.
CloudWatch, CloudTrail.
Mm.
That one.
Yeah. So what
Yeah,
should be the
second one.
option?
I think
Second
we
one.
have done. We
Yeah, we have done this one. Yeah,
did we do
it's
this question paper?
yeah, we completed the 10 questions, then we move forward for the 11th one. But sometimes what is
Oh,
happening whenever I'm taking again, now we are having much more visibility about it. That's why. So we
okay, no
will
problem.
push further for the next 10 questions today. Yeah.
Hmm.
The cloud trail, I have told you, like whenever the auditing kind of thing you will identify as part of the
Hmm.
questions, right? You can simply go through the cloud trail. So AWS cloud trail to log the AWS KMS key uses. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Question number three, please.
A solution architect is designing a stateful web application that will run for 1 year and then be decommissioned. Load on this platform will be constant and using a number of instances. Key drivers for the system include high availability, but elasticity is not required. That is the most cost effective way to purchase compute for this platform. So it will run for 1 year, we know. right?
Mhm.
And then we decrease your load on this platform is also constant.
Mhm.
So this is fine. And number of number of 4.8x large instance, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so standard reserved instance
Right, right,
24 by 7. So there is
right.
no schedule thing.
Yeah, yeah. It will be standard reserve instance only because we know servers are up and running for 24/7. If it's not 24/7, then we can thought of scheduled one, right? So it's first of all 24/7, so it will not be scheduled one. It will not be the convertible as well because clear cut mentioned like
Um,
it is going to
mm,
be the type of the
right.
X large. Okay,
Mm,
it cannot be the spot instance because it's 24/7 only, right? Like it's a reserve for
mm,
1 year. So that's why the most cost effective will be the standard reserve instances. Now let's
mm,
understand one more thing here. One of the cheapest instance is the spot instance, but which is not having any what to say fixed durability, or we can say the existence, right? So we cannot go
mm,
for the spot instance. One of the cheapest one, 90% discount. Standard reserve
mm,
instance, 70% discount. Okay. Convertible
mm,
reserve instance is 60% discount, and scheduled reserve instance is 50% discount. So why I'm talking about all the discount? Discount is going to be applicable for 1 to 3 years of duration, whatever you're going to reserve them. Okay. So those instances are a bit expensive. So those are the type of the reserve instances. You can also remember this one. All three types of
mm.
reserve instances are available here: scheduled reserve instances, convertible reserve instances, and standard reserve instances. What do you mean by
So
convertible?
how much discount is for spot instance?
Spot stance is discounted like you can it's immediate. It's based on the bidding. We know that bidding is there.
Mm.
So I'm
Correct,
just
correct, correct.
comparing in
Okay.
top
No,
in
I thought I missed that.
no, we have
Mm,
we can recall it. So it's spot stance is like it's based on the bidding. Okay, so that's I'm just saying it's a cheaper 90% more cheaper than the reserve stances. Okay,
mm,
so in the real world, only two kind of reserve stances are being used. One is the standard reserve stances. Okay, another is your what to say the on demand stances. Nobody using the spot stances. Okay, because they know it's a
mm,
production applications, people like to have more. And one of the best thing I explained about the on demand instances, like they are fixed, like you are going to have for 24 hour, you are going to have for 1 week, you are going to have for 1 hour. Like this you can have the on demand instances, right? Even there
mm,
is a dedicated on demand instances. What do you mean by dedicated on demand instances? Means you have the private cloud. Okay, and you have your own hardware. Whenever I'm saying private cloud means you have your own hardware. Okay, nobody is using your hardware. There is no virtualization as part of your hardware for other organizations. Whatever the virtualization you are doing for yourself, for your organization only. That kind of thing is also there. We have recalled, and we are going to discuss about it much more as part of the questions. Okay, you got the visibility. One of the
mm.
cheapest spot stance, but if you're not fulfilling my requirement, then standard Java stance is only fulfilling my requirement. Yeah. Okay. Let's proceed. Question number 4, please.
Okay. Um, a media company asked a solution architect to design a high available storage solution to serve as a centralized document store for their Amazon EC2 instance.
Mm-hmm.
The storage solution needs to be POSIX. Okay, POSIX, you told me something.
Mm-hmm.
So scale dynamically and be able to serve up to 100 concurrent EC2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I have
Yes, yes. Yeah.
forgotten POSIX is EFS or EBS.
Mm. So see, if this is the compliance, if I talk about, right? POSIX. This kind of compliance is
Linux
available
file system.
the next
Yeah,
file system. That
EFS.
EFS?
EFS.
Yeah, perfect.
Uh,
Yeah, it's EFS only, right? Create a
mm,
Amazon EFS, okay?
right.
Elastic file
Mm,
system, and store and share it, because
mm,
this is the only file system which is this much compliant, which is known as the POSIX. Yeah, otherwise it
mm,
is not going to be. Okay, perfect. So here you need to do remember just one terminology here. Even you need to know this kind of compliance is followed by the which kind of system. Okay? Got the
Hmm.
visibility? And we are aware about the Amazon Glacier for the archival purpose, right? We are aware about the EBS, which is specific to the EC2 instances. We are aware about the S3, which is the cheapest one, which is available globally. It is going to store the data in terms of the bucket. It's object-based storage. So I hope so. We are going through the options, and we are also identifying, okay, what I know, what I don't know. But the perfect answer is EFS only. Yeah, got the visibility?
Hmm.
Okay. Question number 5, please.
A solution architect has a two-tier application with single Amazon EC2 instance web server and Amazon RDS multi-ZDP instances. The architect is re-architecting the application for high availability
Mhm.
by adding instances in a second availability zone. Which additional service will improve the availability of the application? Choose to.
Right, right. So,
Additional service will
yeah,
improve the availability.
yeah,
Okay.
let me give you the hint
Uh,
here. Hint
mm,
is like
mm,
it's talking about the high availability. How exactly high availability is going to be happen by having the multiple availability zone, right? So now you can
mm.
understand which service dealing with the multiple availability zone or multiple EC2 instances for high availability.
Yeah, so auto scaling group is one, and
Mhm.
second would be the classic load balancer.
Yeah, elastic load balancer, which is known as the classic load balancer. Yeah. So even
Mm.
instead of classic load balancer, application load balancer may also come into the picture, and gateway load
Right.
balancer can also come into the picture. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got the
I
visibility
think
about
I
it? Yeah.
forgotten what is elastic cache.
Elastic cache. Oh,
Mm.
elastic cache is nothing but the whatever the most frequent operation we are doing as part of our system. Okay, so we would like to have some good performance. So we are going to maintain some cache because we would like to do some same kind of a session. We are executing the same kind of a session
Okay, so
again and again.
performance.
To achieve the
Okay,
performance,
the
we are going to,
performance one.
yeah, it's
Mm.
related to the elastic cache. Okay.
Mm.
Question number 6, please.
A company is migrating its data center to AWS. As part of this migration, there is a three-tier web application that has strict data at rest
Mm-hmm.
encryption requirements.
Mm-hmm.
The customer deploys this application on Amazon EC2 using Amazon EBS
Mm-hmm.
and now must provide encryption at rest. The customer deploys this application on Amazon EC2 using Amazon EBS and now must provide encryption at rest. Okay, how can this requirement be met without changing the application?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. AWS Key Management Service and move the encrypted data to Amazon S3. No, that will be changed. Use an application specific encryption API with AWS service. Again, it will be a change. Use encrypted EBS storage volume. EBS already there with, I think this is the one. Use third party tools. Also C.
Yeah, it's a C only. Yeah, it's correct answer is C because we are talking about the ABS only, right?
Hmm.
So we also have seen while choosing the EBS storage, we are supposed to enable the encryption using the KMS, right? Key Management
Hmm.
Service. So that is the most
Hmm.
stable and standard way to encrypt your data. And you are supposed
Right.
to enable the encryption while the creation of your particular storage, even if S3 or the EBS. Okay, you are supposed to enable in the
Hmm.
beginning, so your data is going to be stored in the encrypted format. So it will be much
Hmm.
more secure.
Right.
Question number 7, please.
A solution architect is developing software on AWS that requires access to multiple AWS services, including an Amazon EC2 instance. Including, okay. This is a security sensitive application and AWS credentials such as access key ID, secret key as in need to be protected, cannot be exposed anywhere in the system. What security measure would satisfy this requirement? Store the AWS key ID secret key combination in software comments. Assign an IAM user to the Amazon EC2 instance. Assign an IAM role to the EC2 instance. Enable multi-factor authentication. Um, I know it is C, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to again see check the question one moment. because I remembered the answer. Our
Mhm.
solution architect is developing software on AWS that requires access to multiple AWS services, including Amazon. This is a security sensitive application. Hmm. One moment, somebody is calling me. Don't know why. One. Yeah, cannot be exposed anywhere. See, though the answer is this one,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
This is a security sensitive application and AWS credentials such as access key ID, secret key access ID need to be protected and cannot be exposed anywhere in the system.
Mhm.
This line is not going. I mean, even if I have an IAM role,
Mhm.
I may need to have an access key ID and secret access key login to log in. है ना?
Mhm. Mhm. Actually,
Key ID.
yeah, actually, AWS provide you the facility. Even you don't have the access key ID or the secret key also, you can log into that particular servers. If you have access has been granted, we will go through the IAM role where you will identify. If you don't have the username and password also, still you will be able to access your account. But you are supposed to have that role to access that particular instances or what to say the account. That kind of thing you will get to know about it. Okay? Even you don't have or you don't want to
Okay.
expose it,
Okay.
even
Fine.
even the AWS administrator intentionally not giving you anything. Okay, they are simply allowing you to access the resources. That is another way to not exposing the person. The person don't know the anything, but is still able to access the things. It is the one another way of security that you will get to know better about
Mm,
it. Yeah.
done. Okay.
Question number 8, please.
And I was also thinking that other options now are not suitable. So they
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
of an
yeah.
elimination
One more
method
thing
or
I would
something
like to
like
tell
this.
you here. One more thing I would like to tell you here. Sometimes your question may not give you that much visibility. Okay, so we can go through the elimination process, and from the elimination process, we will identify this is only the most suitable answer. Okay, for this particular situation, maybe. So that's why you have chosen that option because I have seen sometimes the uh, option itself not that much perfect which is suitable with the condition or maybe the situation, right? So scenario. So in this way also you can think and you can choose the option. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Okay. It's number 8, please.
An AWS workload is in a VPC running.
Mhm.
VPC is running a legacy database on an Amazon EC2 instance.
Mhm.
An AWS workload in a VPC running a legacy database on Amazon. Data is stored on a 200 GB Amazon EBS GP2 volume. At peak load times, logs show excessive wait time. What solution should be implemented to improve it? I know that SQS. No,
Mhm.
it is not that. Okay. So the database, okay, got it. So that would be on IOPS.
Right, SST.
What's
Why
implemented?
exactly? Because we have seen there are different categories of the EBS is there. General purpose one, two, three, those are the generations. Even magnetic tapes are there, right? And IOPS and throughput HHDs. Those are the part of the EBS categories. Okay. But this is the one
Mm,
which is going to help us out because you are going to have the performance related issues, right? So how is it you
mm,
can get the good performance in terms of the excessive load
right.
time? That is the only one of the best
Mm,
option here. Yeah. And one more thing you need to know the general purpose GP2, GP1, GP3, or GP means general purpose. Okay. 1,
mm,
2, 3,
mm,
or IOPS 1 or IOPS 2. If you see IO 1, IO 2 is also there. Okay. All those
mm,
are the SSD only. So just do remember, okay, they are not the HSD. Or HSD means hard disk. Hard disk is only throughput HSD is there, which is the hard disk, which is for the big data kind of application. Okay, not for the
Mm.
performance kind of stuff. So that's also need to be remembered. Yeah. So all are the SSD
Mm.
here. Okay. Question number 9, please.
A company's website receives 50,000 requests per second. The company wants to use multiple applications to analyze the navigation patterns of the users on their website so that the experience can be personalized. What can a solution architect use to collect page clicks from the for the websites and process them sequentially for each user?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That this is where I said SQS will not be the option, CloudTrail will not be option, and Kinesis Stream
Hmm.
would be the one, the first
Yeah.
one.
So why exactly I'm choosing this option? Because if you observe here, it's like a analysis. Okay, you are going to do the analysis because so many customers are visiting your website. It's clear cut saying receive the 50,000 requests each second. Okay, and company would like to have the
Mm.
multiple application to analyze the navigation pattern of the users in their website so that the experience can be personalized. Like I can tell you very simple thing. Like if you focus on the Amazon.in. Okay, so sometimes you are able to see whatever you have purchased, that kind of items. Based on that, if you are much interested in the electronic items or what. Even one of the best thing also can talk about, like if you have looking the for the fridge, cooler, washing machine, something over the Flipkart or Amazon. If you're accessing Facebook now, you are going to see same kind of ad, right? So that is because of cookie system. That is because of analysis purpose. Okay, so like the same thing is going to happen in terms of the e-commerce website. What kind of product you have looked earlier, and maybe you are interested on such kind of product based on your order history or based on your the way you are navigating the things. So it is going to suggest you. So that kind of services which is providing you the analysis. Okay, and which are being much more personalized as part of your requirement is going to be identified. Like Netflix, same kind of thing. What kind of movies you have seen, what kind of movies you have gone through or web series you have gone through. So Netflix is going to recommend you. The same kind of analysis is going to be happen in terms of the AWS actually. Yeah, got the visibility?
Mm.
Yeah. Question number 10, please.
A company wants to migrate a high transactional database to AWS requirements. State that the database has more than 6 TB of the data and will grow exponentially. Which solution should a solution architect recommend? Right.
Right. Mhm.
Mm. You told me this. It is Aurora, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see it's exponentially. Data is growing like exponentially, right? And it's
Mm.
increasing the data day by day. And one of the high performance of transitional database, it will be Aurora only. Okay, because if I talk about the rest of the services, they don't support that much grow exponentially. And Amazon Aurora is the product of the Amazon itself, right? So they are going to promote it. They are going to perform high performance. If there was some business requirement analysis and analytics is there, then that will be the what to say Redshift. But here we are not talking about the analytics of the business data, right? Enterprise data. We are just simply talking about database storage. Okay, which need a copy of the things or which need the exponential data storage services. It will be Amazon Aurora. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Mm.
Let's proceed. Question number 11, please.
A company hosts a two-tier application that consists of a publicly accessible web server that communicates with a private database. Only HTTPS port 443 traffic to the web server must be allowed
Mhm.
from the internet. Which of the following options will achieve these requirements? A security group that allows inbound traffic for port 443, security group that denies all inbound traffic, no.
Mhm.
Network ACL rules that allows 443 inbound and all ports outbound for internet traffic. Okay, security group that allows internet traffic for 443 in both inbound and outbound.
Mhm.
Hmm. Network ACL rule that allows port 443 for both inbound and outbound for all internet traffic. Access list definitely,
Mhm.
and security group is a stateless, no? Something like that. So
Yeah.
only inbound traffic could do, right?
So fourth
So
will
E,
for sure, right? Fourth will not be there, and second will not be there.
right.
right? It will not be there,
So
and
it
this
is
will also not be there, right?
A and E,
A
is it?
and E. Why E? You would like to
In
have the all the traffic.
for both inbound and outbound for all internet traffic. Uh,
It will be C
for
only,
all
right?
internet traffic, inbound and all ports outbound for internet traffic. So what is the difference?
See here.
ACL rule that
It's
allows port 443 for
Mhm.
both inbound and outbound. Okay, the inbound and all ports outbound for
Mhm.
internet traffic.
Yeah. So actually, first of all, we have seen like if it's inbound, then only it is going to work out. Like we have seen if we are hitting. What about the outbound? Outbound means whenever we are switching from one web server to the another web server, right? So we are supposed to have the all rules allow from the outbound. Okay, inbound only 443 is
Okay.
sufficient for us. So like we
Okay.
have seen the situation. We created the web server, we created the DB server. So web server required to have the inbound, but if you would like to go outbound, better to have that one. Okay, not all the internet traffic, not all internet traffic should be for the 443 only. If you observe here, let me read the question again. The company hosts a two-tier application that consists of the publicly accessible web server that communicate with the private database. Are you getting my point? To communicate to the private database, that we know, right? The HTTP
Mm,
port number 443 traffic to web server to must be allowed from the internet. This must be
mm.
allowed, it's saying only, if you see only word, only HTTP
Oh,
443.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm. So only will be like
So,
this. Mhm.
allows all allows perfectly for you know, and all ports outbound. Okay.
Not
Mm,
all, only 443 for the inbound, okay, and all the
mm,
ports for the outbound. Okay, so it is one thing only, inbound only. It's saying clear cut, inbound only, right? That's why most suitable.
mm.
But the visibility.
Yeah, so as a best practice, we are enabling
Mhm.
all ports outbound, is it?
Yeah. As a practice for the outbound, we are enabling it because definitely from the base server, you are going to enter into your what to say the DB servers, right? So you are supposed to have the permission to go through that particular stuff outbound purpose. If any traffic is allowed, then only it can go out. Okay, we can do one
Mm,
thing. We can go through the description. Okay, once we are done with the 10
mm.
questions, yeah,
Okay,
then we can
this one,
discuss
yes.
about it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's number 12, please.
Solution architect is designing an Amazon VPC.
Mhm.
Applications in the VPC must have private connectivity to Amazon DynamoDB
DynamoDB.
in
Mhm.
the same AWS region.
Mhm.
The design should route DynamoDB traffic through.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
I
see,
didn't
it's clear
understand
cut
the
saying
question.
it would like to have what? Private connectivity. How is it you are going to have the private connectivity from DynamoDB? We have seen this
That
scenario as part of the S3, right?
in endpoint,
Yeah, VPC
is the
endpoint. Yeah.
endpoint, and why even direct connect is also an option, no?
No, Direct Connect is for the
Uh,
different purpose, not for this purpose. Direct Connect is like a on-premises DB to
on
the
premise to this one, correct, correct.
right,
Okay,
right.
okay.
So that is
Solution
the
Access is designing an Amazon VPC. Applications in the VPC must have private connectivity for to Amazon DB in the same AWS region. Right, right. Understood.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm.
If I talk about a different AWS region, that can be done through the what to say, using the Dynamics VPC pairing, like VPC to VPC pairing for the different regions. May not be the same region, but the perfect answer is VPC endpoint. As of now. And got
Mm.
the private connectivity. It's not losing.
Why
It is
in
not
different region we cannot do a VPC endpoint in
different
two
region.
different regions?
No. VPC endpoint, it's saying within a VPC region. We can do that, okay, but as of now, the requirement is here. Let's use the VPC endpoint to have, if you do remember, I am supposed to remove the NAT gateway. I'm supposed to have the VPC endpoint. So like VPC endpoint is going to work out once I will create it, right? That is also specific to the region we are going to choose the VPC endpoint.
Mm.
No problem. We are going to recall it again. Yeah.
Yeah, endpoints are supported within the same region. You cannot create endpoint between a VPC and a service in a different region.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
got it.
Yeah, yeah.
A solution architect is architecting a workload that requires a performant object-based storage system that
Mhm.
must be shared with multiple Amazon EC2 instances, which is AWS service must meet this requirement. Okay, performant object-based storage system must be shared with multiple EC2 instances. Obviously, it will be
Mhm.
either between EFS and S3
Mhm.
and
It's saying object
hmm,
based. Clear cut saying object based.
object-based is S3, is it?
S3 only. Object based, right?
Uh, File storage also must be object
No,
based,
that
na?
is storing in the file format, NFS v1. That is the format.
NFS format,
V1.
NFS format. Yeah, right. Okay.
So I
Okay.
think object based storage system. Object based storage system is S3 only, right?
Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 14, please.
Solution architect is developing a solution for sharing files in the organization. The solution must allow multiple users to access the storage service at once from different virtual machines and scale automatically. Must be supported file server. This is a TFS.
Right. Perfect. It's clear cut saying it's a file based system. Okay.
Mhm.
So no need to worry about anything. It cannot be the S3, it cannot be the EBS, it cannot be the cache volume. Right?
Hmm.
Okay. Question number 15, please.
A company runs a legacy application with a single tier architecture on an Amazon EC2 instance. Disk I/O is low and occasional small spikes during business hours. The company requires the instance to be stopped. Right, which storage option is most appropriate for this workload? Is
Mhm.
there a scheduled one? No. Um, um, a company runs a legacy on EC2 instance
Mhm.
on an Amazon EC2 instance. Which what is that they are asking? Which storage option, right?
Right, right.
The first one is not a storage.
Yeah, right. It's
So
not a storage.
EPS general purpose and IOPS. IOPS because the disk IO is low with occasional spike.
Mhm.
So the
It
company
cannot be the
requires the
last one.
instance to
Yeah, it cannot be the last one.
uh, disk IO is low with occasional. So that is not requiring much IO. Okay, yeah,
Huh.
understood when you
Hmm.
asked the
Hmm.
question. So that's not
It's
the last one.
low
Um,
spike only during the
So
business
we
hours.
can do with this B only, right?
B
EBS
only, right? Perfect answer.
SSD
Yeah, yeah. It is
hmm,
going to be attached with your EC2 instance only, right? It's
instance,
clear cut
correct.
saying it's a
Hmm.
single tier architecture. Single tier architecture means it
Right,
is not going to have much more stuff, right? Okay,
right.
let's
Yeah.
see. Question number
Okay.
16, please.
As part of securing an API layer built on Amazon API Gateway, a solution architect has to authorize users who are currently authenticated by an existing identity provider.
Mhm.
As part of a solution architect has to authorize users who are currently authenticated by an existing identity provider. Okay. The
Mhm.
users must be denied access for a period of 1 hour after 3 unsuccessful. Okay. How can the solution action means use AWS IAM authentication and add least privileged permission to each use an API gateway, custom authorized framework, use Amazon Cognito users pool to provide built-in user management. I use Amazon Cognito user pool to integrate. Actually, this is as a part of the API layer built on this one. A corporation has to authorize users who are currently authenticated by an existing. Okay, so this is an integration which we are talking about as an external. So I do not know. Possibly it is Cognito. I don't know.
No, no, no. It cannot be the
API.
Cognito. As of now, here we are not going through that one. It will be the B
gateway.
option,
Uh,
B option.
uh,
Okay, why the B
uh,
option? If I talk about the API gateway custom authorizer to
mm,
invoke the AWS Lambda function to validate each user identity. Here, so this is the proper option. Cognito will not be coming to the picture here. Mhm.
and what is
And
Cognito?
Cognito is basically for the what to say AI related stuff actually. Okay, whenever the
Mm.
we are going through the some analysis Amazon Cognito, right? Even I hope so. You have okay. I have not discussed with you about the Amazon Cognito. Okay, Cognito is what like
Mm.
it is going to help you out to analyze. You are going to see the situation where the Cognito will come into the picture. It is much more related to the analysis part actually. Okay, how actually
Okay.
going to work out, how exactly things are going to be verified. So that is the thing. I'm going to let you know. Actually, there is a bit what to say the Amazon Cognito and Azure Cognito. So both are having a different kind of stuff. But here we are supposed to have the second option only. So API gateway custom authorizer to invoke the AWS Lambda function to validate the each user's identity. Even you will see in a future options like most of the cases they are would like to have the lambda function invoked with the API gateway. Okay, for the authorization purpose. We will see such kind of options. If you would like to understand it again, we can go through again. Like as part of the securing a API layer built on the Amazon API gateway, the solution architect to authorize users who are currently authenticated with the existing identity provider. The user must be denied access for the period of 1 hour after the unsuccessful attempt. Okay, so that kind of processing is going to be happen using the second option only. Okay, it may be very near to the third one. As of now, you may not have the idea about it, but no problem. We are going to discuss about as well, and we are going to understand the what to say.
Yeah, I just saw also one moment. I'll paste it here.
Mhm.
So
Even
Cognito.
Lambda is also considered like a custom authorizer. Okay, the Amazon Cognito
Okay.
is a user identity and data synchronization service. Okay, and help you to securely manage and synchronize the app data for the users across their mobile devices. And Amazon Cognito is available for all AWS customers. But that is not providing the custom authorization. Custom authorization is going to be achieved using the Lambda function. Okay, Lambda function is going to be integrated with the API gateway. Okay, that kind of thing you will observe actually. Okay, so I will tell you from one link actually like Lambda authorization authorizer is useful if you want to implement the custom authorization scheme. Okay, that uses the barrier
Mm.
token authorization strategy such as the auth or SAML, or that uses the security parameter to determine the caller's identity. So whenever we are talking about the custom authorization, you are supposed to keep one thing in your mind. The API gateway is extensively going to work with the lambda expression to have the custom authorization. It's clear cut saying he must be denied access for the period of 1 hour after three unsuccessful return. Okay, it's saying clear
Mm.
cut saying period of 1 hour, only
Mm.
for 1 hour, not for more than 1 hour. Okay, if you
Mm.
know, if you try to log in into your internet banking, if internet banking or account is going to be logged and you are supposed to reset the password, but they are not saying like this here. They are saying even you have did the unsuccessful attempt 3 times, I'm going to lock you for the 3 hours on for the 1 hour only. It's a custom
Mm.
authorization that is going to achieve using the lambda API gateway. Okay,
Mm.
so even it's one more thing is here, like when client make a request to the one of the API method, API gateway calls the Lambda authorizer, which takes in the caller identity as a input and return the AMI policy as a output. So that we are going to see in future. But as of now, this is the way
Mm.
the things are going to work out. Yeah. So I hope so this is given
Mm.
you the new thing to understand. Okay. Question number
Mm.
17,
Mm.
please.
An organization runs an online media
Mhm.
site hosted on premises, and an employee posted a product review that contained videos, and the review went viral, and the organization needs to handle the resulting spike in website traffic.
Mhm.
Okay. What action would he provide an immediate solution?
It's
Not
related to the content
redesign.
delivery. Now I'm giving you the hint. It's related to the content delivery, right? It's about video streaming. Yeah. Okay.
Mm, mm, okay. So add server instance, serve the images and via the cloud front distribution created using the new site as well. Use Amazon Elastic Cache. What is CloudFront? We checked.
It's a content delivery mechanism. Okay, that's why I was saying the correct answer is
Oh, okay.
CloudFront only. Like you are having the couple of edge location over the availability zone. Okay, availability zones are going to take the data from regional basis. Even what to say. Like let me tell you one of the best thing about the content delivery network. Okay, so what is happening? Your data is residing on some particular regional location. That is the original location where your data has been there in the origin part. Okay, now
Hmm.
you would like to have the streaming of your games or streaming of your videos which are very heavy content. You cannot always take the data from the original location. Okay, original location maybe take the time and streaming may not be that much smooth. So what is going to be happen? You are going to have the availability zone. Then as part of availability zone, you are going to have the cloud edge locations. Edge locations are going to be maintained using the cloud front. So CloudFront is known as the content delivery network for the video streamings. Okay, this is the one of
Hmm.
the best way to go through it. If you observe here, na, clear cut, our organization runs an online media site hosted on premises. On premises means they have the server running in their location actually. Okay, got the visibility? Servers are staying
Hmm.
in their own location. Those are the origin location of the data. Okay, like Netflix having the private cloud. So the private cloud means in Netflix in Netflix office location only they have in the DB server. Sorry, data centers. Okay, employer posted a
Hmm.
product review that contained the videos and pictures, and review went viral. And the organization need to be handled the resulting spike on the website traffic. So what kind of action? Immediate solution. So it is the best solution actually. Content delivery, cloud fund. Okay, it's related to the
Hmm.
videos and images. Okay, it cannot be the fourth one because that is related to the much more data request kind of thing. Like requests are coming, requests are going, or some particular amount of data only, not specific to the images and videos. If specific to image and videos will be the third option. Okay, it cannot be the second option because we are not talking about different locations. We are not talking about some failover need to be configured. So that's why the most suitable answer will be the C only. Okay, so whenever in the future also if you identify some streaming kind of stuff, some video kind of stuff that is related to the content delivery network, got the visibility. And
Hmm.
this is the
Hmm.
service which is responsible for the content delivery network. And one of the best thing about the content delivery network, they are working in the distributed architecture. So data will not be there in only one location which is origin. It is going to be stay in the edge locations. Okay?
Hmm. So, yeah, I hear you. Oh no, go back. Lucky.
Mhm. Mhm.
The last one, right?
Mhm.
Why would I not select this one over the first one? You said this is about reducing the load
Mhm.
request from the origin. The other way, if I think about it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The content delivery network also is that keeping this information at the edge location, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, which reduces the load from the
Origin,
origin,
right. Right.
right? What was Redis? I forgot.
Yeah, yeah. Redis is like a DB. It's a DB server, which is having the one of the best thing about the caching. So it is the one of the fast DB, which is
Okay,
having the fast amount of caching. So that is maybe go through the
okay,
data, what kind of data you would like to handle, right? So that is not related to the images and videos because that is
correct, correct.
much more
Database,
expensive. Yeah, that is much
correct,
more.
correct. That could be an eliminating factor. That why
Uh,
would I go for an Amazon Elastic Cache
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for Redis, right? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Even after the completion of the 20 questions, we can go through again. We can look into the description. Description is clear cut saying. See, people may think about the elastic cache, but boy, may not. It cannot be the elastic cache, okay? Because they are
Okay.
supposed to know about the content delivery network service, which is the cloud front. Yeah. Okay. Question number
Mm,
18, please.
mm. Yeah, one moment. Huh?
Mhm.
Just I'm taking this information about Amazon Redis. It is called Redis Elasticache.
Mhm.
Amazon Elasticache for Redis is a
Mhm.
no, placing fast in memory data store that provides sub-millisecond latency to power internet scale real-time applications.
Mhm.
Your self-managed Redis application can work seamlessly with Wi-Fi.
With Elasticsearch said
Real-time.
without any code changes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay,
Even
real-time application means what?
real time.
Real-time application means what?
Real-time application means your application has been deployed over the servers, okay, which are up and running. You would like to have the data from those particular applications. So you cannot each and every time have the data from the origin location. You are supposed to have the application related data or the functionality as part of the Redis. That is the thing actually. Real-time applications.
Mhm.
The application specific data, okay, not specific to
Mm.
the what to say, not specific to the video streaming or image streaming. Okay.
Okay, fine. A client notices that their engineer often makes mistake while creating Amazon SQS for their backend system. Which action should a solution architect, one minute, solution architect recommend to improve this process?
Mhm.
Makes mistake
Mhm.
when creating Amazon SQS. Use the Amazon CLI,
Mhm.
write a script, use AWS Elastic Beanstalk,
Mhm.
use CloudFormation template to manage the, what was Beanstalk?
Beanstalk, yeah, it's a platform as a service. Okay, you are not supposed to create the EC2 instance. You are not supposed to maintain the EC2 instance. You are not supposed to configure the load balancers or the auto scaling groups. Everything is inbuilt. Just you need to deploy your application. That is the Elastic Beanstalk. It's a platform as a service. Okay, no need to struggle for anything. If I say in
It's a
the reality,
platform as a service. Huh?
platform as a service, right? It's a platform as a service, like
Okay,
we have
then
said,
this is not applying. That is
right?
not applying.
Right.
Then use Amazon Cloud Formation template to manage Cloud Formation. Will it create a SQS?
Yeah, so actually, yeah,
Can create.
cloud formation is the perfect answer. Why the cloud formation? You may heard about a Terraform, right? Which is kind of a platform, a cloud independence. You may heard about the language independency, but the cloud independency also coming to the picture. I don't wanna only work with the AWS. Okay, in the future I may go for the Azure or some IBM cloud, okay, or Oracle cloud. So like this. There is some template need to be maintained. So Amazon specific what to say, the formation or template is the cloud formation actually. So that's why it is the one of the best way to create the
Hmm,
SQS for the
got it.
better what to say, to avoiding the mistake. Okay, for better
Hmm,
performance. Yeah.
okay, got it.
Question number 19, please.
A development team is building an application with front end and back end application tiers.
Mhm.
Each tier consists of Amazon EC2 instance behind an ALB classic load balancer. The instances run in an auto-scaling group across multiple availability zones. The
Mhm.
network team has allocated the 10.0.0.0/24 address space for this
Mhm.
application.
Mhm.
Only the front-end load balancer should be exposed to the internet. There are concerns about limited size of the address space and ability of each tier
Mhm.
to scale. What should the VPC subnet design be in each availability zone?
Mhm.
You have lost in the question.
No problem. Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
also identify that
one,
so much big actually.
okay, one public subnet for what should the VPC subnet design be in each availability zone? One public subnet for the load balancer tier, one public subnet for the front end tier, and one private subnet for the back end tier. One shared subnet for all tiers of the application. So what is that you are saying? That a development team is building an application with front end and a back end application. Each tier consists of EC2 instance behind a load balancer. Instances run into autoscaling group across multiple availability zone. Okay. And multiple availability zone. Can a subnet spread across two availability zone?
Subnet.
I'm asking you. Yeah.
Subnet can be we cannot
Spanning
spread the
across.
subnet. We cannot spread the subnet in the availability zone.
It will be a one subnet
हाँ.
in one availability zone, है ना?
We can have
Okay.
subnet as part of the availability zone, but subnet cannot be expanded within the availability between the availability
Right.
zone.
Okay. So okay. So if the subnet cannot be spanned, right? One shared public subnet is not possible. That B is not possible.
Right.
Okay. One public subnet for the load balancer tier and one shared private subnet for applications tier. This also is not possible because your application is across multiple availability zone. Is that what we are trying to say?
Right.
So the C also is not an option. One shared subnet for all, that also is not a subnet. So that means that A.
Let me read. One public subnet for the load balancer tier, or one shared private subnet for the application tier. They are saying one shared. The terminology no need to one. See, it cannot be the B. Okay, why cannot be the B? Because everything you're not going to keep as part of the public subnet. That is for sure. Okay. Now one public subnet for the load balancer tier and one shared private subnet for the application tier. See, anyhow, anyway, if you understand, the C option is saying clear cut, your application server will be there in the private subnet only. Okay, that is the only one we having the requirement actually. If we will go through it now, we are supposed to have the application servers as part of your private subnet. Okay, let me read the very first
Why
option.
front end will be public subnet, no?
Front end is the public subnet, but your application, see, application servers are going to keep in the private subnet. Base servers are going to keep into the public subnet. We never keep the application server into the public subnet.
So that private, the first option looks good to me.
No,
one private subnet for the private backend tier.
See,
Okay.
here you are not going to have the different. See, there are only two kind of subnet will be there, which is the public and private. How many you would like to have the things configured as part of the single public and single private? So you are not going to have the 2-3 public subnet. You are going to have only one public subnet. Inside that public subnet only, you are going to have the all the required configuration. So we cannot go for the two different public subnet. Public subnet is doing the same thing. Like front end tier also can be done as part of the public subnet. Why we are supposed to have the two public subnet as part of the first option?
That is true.
Right?
That is true. Okay.
Same thing is going to be happen. Why there need to be two subnet, right? There is one. Okay. So first option cannot be there. Okay. Shared is not going to means one public subnet is not sufficient. Definitely, we would like to save the resources. That's why the B will not be there. If I talk about the one shared private subnet for all tiers of the application, that is also not possible. You cannot simply deal with the private only. You cannot simply deal with the public only. You're not supposed to get a two public subnet for the same thing only. The perfect answer is C only. Are you getting my point? C only. Because if I go through all the options,
one public subnet for load balancer, one shared public subnet for the application tiers.
Yes. Yeah.
For both front end and back end.
Application tier means
what?
No. See, what I'm saying, front end or back end the front end and load balancer can be in public subnet. Okay. Front end and load balancer in public subnet, and the application tier, which comes under the backend, can be in the private subnet. So answer will be the C only.
Application tier means backend.
Backend. Yeah. Application servers and the base and the DB servers are comes under the backend only. We are not going to keep application servers as part of your private public subnet. Application servers are always there in the private subnet. Base servers are only there in the public subnet.
You mean web servers, huh?
Base servers, yeah, base servers. Even
Okay.
load balancers are there, like load balancers are going to distribute the traffic between the EC2 instances, right? So it's not a problem to us. Even the load balancers are going to perform very important role here. If we have gone through it, right? Elastic load balancer, all the configurations are going to be happen as part of the load balancers only. So they are supposed to be in public subnet, right?
Hmm.
Mhm. Okay. I hope so. You got the visibility. We can go through the description
No,
part
I
as well.
got it. Okay. Okay.
Question number 20, please.
Solution architect must select the storage type for a big data application that requires very high sequential I/O. The data must persist if the instance is stopped. Which of the following storage types will provide the best fit at the lowest cost of the application? So, select the storage type for a big data application. There's a very high sequential I/O.
It's saying, see, I will give you the hint. It's a big data. Big data means highest throughput using the HSD. Now tell me what should be the answer.
IOPS,
I was no no
the
no no no
P,
no 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 no.
then
This EBS is intended for this condition only. I told you big data kind of application is going to be dealt with the throughput optimized SSD only. It's the most
okay,
cost
throughput
effective,
optimized
lowest
lowest.
cost.
uh,
Okay, leave about
Okay.
everything. What is the lowest cost is possible in terms of the SSD or hard disk?
HDD.
SSD. Yeah, this is the correct answer. Okay, but one more
Mhm.
advantage here, if you focus on the key points, is big data application. Okay, where that the
Mm.
require the high sequential. It's not saying performance based IO. It's a sequential IO. Sequential IO are being supported by the SSD only. The
Throughput
perfect answer.
optimized.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you will search over the internet,
Okay.
it will clear cut saying this terminology. This dedicated volume is for the big data kind of application only. Okay. What's the
Hmm.
visibility? Okay.
Hmm.
So can we proceed for the, we can complete 5 more, or you would like to go through the description right now? Because we completed 20 as of now totally.
Whatever you suit. How long it
Okay.
will take?
So it will take another
50.
15 minutes. Is it fine? Another 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's proceed. 21, please.
Auto-scaling applications, application A and application B currently run within a shared set of subnets. A solution architect wants to make sure the application can make requests to application B, but application B should be denied from making requests. Okay, this is a simple solution. That is in the security group. Application A and B, okay, two different applications. Auto-scaling currently run with a shared set of subnets. Shared set means what? Same subnet,
A shared
right?
set of subnet possibly like within a VPC only.
Hmm. Okay. Within a
Mhm.
VPC,
Within a
but
VPC.
after VPC will have an access network access control list. So
Okay. It's saying application
uh,
A, application B. Clear cut.
right,
Two
there are
auto
two
application.
applications.
Two auto scaling applications, application A and application B. Currently it runs within a shared set of subnet. Okay, that's fine. A solution architect want to make sure that the application A makes the request to the application B, but
I
application B
think
should
C
not
is the answer.
hear
Sorry,
the answer. If there is,
C is the
are
answer.
they talking about any specific thing to the subnet? They're talking about the application, not the subnet. If you observe question, they're simply saying application A to application B. Application A may
Uh,
be sitting inside the subnet, not the subnet, overall subnet, right? You can have couple of EC2
okay.
instances inside the subnet. They are not saying subnet level restriction, so it cannot be the option C. Just understand, it is not subnet level restriction. They are simply saying application level restriction.
No, if it is subnet level restriction, then only security groups will work. Na?
No, no, no. You forgot about it. Okay. Instance level is going to work as security group, and subnet
Instance
level is
level is security level. Okay,
right.
okay, security
Mhm,
group.
mhm.
Subnet level, VPC, one VPC has one subnet or multiple subnets.
By multiple subnet, we have seen public subnet, private subnet as part of the single VPC.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So what are we saying? C cannot be the option.
C cannot be the option because it's talking about the application. Application means definitely instance. I can give the one EC2 instance as application one. I can make the another EC2 instance as application two. So definitely it is not subnet
Then
level things.
security groups, na?
Mhm.
Then using security groups that reference the security groups of the other applications. Using
Right,
security group.
right, right. Very simple. See, I can
No, I didn't understand. Sorry, I was
very
just
simple,
reading.
very simple.
So,
Let me tell you, very
uh,
simple. Okay. See,
uh,
we are going to provide the IP address of the load balancer to our EC2 instance to restrict the traffic to come from anywhere. If you do remember,
hmm,
yeah, what we was doing, if there are two EC2 instances, we was only making particular IP address means which is the EC2 load, sorry, which is the load balancer IP address, right? We are configuring as part of the security group. We are choosing the security group from where only traffic is supposed to be allowed.
hmm.
Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say?
No, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking what you were trying to say. So we are allowing the load balancer IP address to allow the traffic, right? Okay,
Traffic is supposed to be come from load balancer only. This is my concern here,
right,
right?
right.
Mhm.
Okay. Using security groups that reference the security groups of the other application.
Right, right. You're saying what.
So inside a security group, do we reference another security group? That's
That's
how I
all,
read it.
that was we always doing the same thing we were doing always.
Okay, let me read the other ones. Using security groups that reference the application server's IP address.
Mhm.
No, okay.
No,
This one is through the load balancer, right? That is,
right. So load balancer security
what-
group we were choosing inside the security group only, right?
right, right. So this one will not be anyways an option.
Mhm.
Migrating the application to separate subnets from each other, anyways, that's not the option.
Mhm.
Simplest, it says using network access control list to allow denied traffic on application IP addresses. This one we just spoke that it is all within that VPC,
Mhm.
VPC and subnet. So this is also not applicable. Okay, I'm trying to understand. Possibly I would have missed some points. So using security group that reference the security groups of other applications. Not very convinced, Lucky, about this
Mhm.
answer, because
Mhm.
what you said is okay. I understood that we allow the traffic for the load balancer, but how this statement relates to that first one, I'm not understanding. Using
See.
security
Yeah, yeah.
groups that
Let me
reference,
tell you. Right now, think
uh,
about there is no load balancer. Then what is
right,
supposed to be happen? Sub application A is supposed to be allow for application B, but in application
correct.
B, I'm
Then
not allowing
IP
for
address,
anything. In the security group
right,
only. I can have
right,
the application A have different security group, application
correct.
B can have different security group. I'm not going to choose the
uh,
security group of that application to allow the traffic. Nothing more than that. Very simple.
right. I will not allow that other application in my security group. That is
Right.
how the language is, right? But here it says using security groups that reference the security groups of other applications. I mean, why should we refer? Security group is a. Anyways, I think we should go through the answer and then
Mhm,
maybe
mhm,
we won't
mhm.
have much time, right? You want to go through the answers, na?
We will go through it.
Uh,
Mhm. B should deny the making request to the application A. B should deny.
from making requests itself.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Using security groups that reference the security groups. Okay. No, still not
Means
making sense. I'm just maybe stuck with the English how it is written.
okay, no
So,
problem.
okay, we'll go through the answers.
Mhm. Okay.
Then
Question number
leave it.
22,
We'll
please.
just go
Mhm.
through the answers. No, you want to go because we won't have time, na?
No,
To
I have time.
go.
I have time. No problem.
Legacy applications currently send messages through a single Amazon EC2 instance, which then routes the messages to the appropriate destinations. Because it currently sends messages to a single Amazon EC2 instance, which then routes the messages to the appropriate destinations. The Amazon EC2 instance is a bottleneck in single product areas, so the company would like to know what which services could address this one. Sends messages.
Mhm.
Okay. That SQS only, no? Then
Two options are there.
options. What is SNS?
What is security notification? Sorry, simple notification service.
No, not that. Then STS.
STS is nothing. I think it's a
Nothing.
transaction spin. It's there. It's there. I need to recall it. Like it's a transaction related thing actually.
As in a
STS.
security token service. Okay,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
not this
Security.
one as well.
Mhm.
Route 53 is a DNS, right?
Glue
And what
53
is
is a thing.
glue?
Glue is another service. It is not specific to this. It is not
Glue.
specific to this.
Okay. Then only I can think of the DNS is a Route 53.
Mhm.
Hmm.
SQS is fine.
The other one.
SNS.
What did you say SNS as?
Simple notification service.
But notification service, how it will help?
Legacy application
Single
currently send message through a single Amazon EC2 instance, which then routes the message to the appropriate destination. The Amazon EC2 instance is a bottleneck and single point of failure, so the company would like to address these issues. Which service could address the architecture you see? Why the SNS? It's not focus why exactly it's routing. Its focus is here. You have only single EC2 instance. The problem is the single EC2 instance, the single point of failure. If it's a single point of failure, you are supposed to know if something goes wrong as part of your EC2 instance. That's why the notification is supposed to become, and you are supposed to know a request is supposed to be accepted. Your request is not supposed to be lost. That's why the SQS is there. You got my point? What I'm trying to say here.
SQS is fine, understood. SNS is not understood. Which service could address this issue? Why should we use a simple notification service
Actually,
to
let me tell you one thing here. SQS very closely work with the SNS actually. Okay, that's why
okay,
the
okay, okay.
yeah, it work very closely.
Hmm.
Okay, or what SNS is doing? It's you. I have configured in front of you while we were doing the auto scaling. As part of the auto scaling, if something goes wrong, your service is coming up or going down, or you have stopped one server or would like to have another server now. In that case, it is supposed to be send you the notification. Are you getting my point? What I'm
Got
trying
it,
to say you?
got it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I saw that message. I just pinged you also. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why.
Hmm.
So whenever SQS is there, definitely you are supposed to know the SNS also. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Question number 23, please.
Solutions architect needs to redesign an architecture for a new mission critical batch processing billing application. This application is required to run on this was the most effective Amazon pattern. This is scheduled reserve instance.
This is the easiest
Scheduled
answer.
reserve
You can give me
instance.
easily. What is the perfect
CC.
answer? See, yeah, it's perfect answer. See, it's the perfect
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, 24,
Mm.
please.
Workload consists of downloading an image from an Amazon S3 bucket, processing the image and moving it to another S3 bucket. An Amazon EC2 instance runs a scheduled task every hour to perform the operation. How should a solution architect redesign the process so that it is highly available? Not the first one. Launch a second Amazon EC2 instance to monitor the health of the first trigger a Lambda function when a new object is created. Initially copy the images to an attached keep this volume. I don't understand trigger a Lambda function. What is Lambda?
Lambda is the platform as a service. Okay. In most of the cases, like you have seen, Lambda is going to work as a what? Like it is going to have the customization, right?
Serverless
Serverless
compute.
computing. Yeah. So we have the facility as part of the Lambda. You can trigger the Lambda whenever the new object is being uploaded. So you are integrating S3, you can integrate with the Lambda, okay? Or whenever the new object is being uploaded or being removed or anything is going to be happen, this is going to help you out. So the correct answer is the C only. Lambda function can be
Can use
invoked.
Lambda to extend other AWS service with custodian create your own backend. So you can create what you tell me. You said something can invoke something.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like Lambda function can be invoked after the object is uploaded, okay, or downloaded. It's having the functionality. It's take care of the processing actually. It depends on the single point of failure kind of EC2 instance. Whenever you have the single point of failure kind of EC2 instance, no, that point of time also the Lambda function is going to help you out. Trigger
So
the
it will trigger another EC2 instance.
not EC2 instance. That is going to give you the update about. It's about the notification only. Okay, it will trigger the function for whenever the new object will be created. It's clear cut saying highly available. You would like to redesign it. So instead of EC2 instance, what you would like to go for? You would like to go for the Lambda function. You don't want to go for
Then
the
why
EC2
not
instance.
the second one to monitor the health? Because it's talking about highly available architecture.
Only
So
if I'm saying you will monitor the health, what is the advantage of monitoring the health? Nothing. It is not going to,
nothing.
how exactly? It is just going to send me the notification. It is not going to do
Correct.
any computing thing. Computing thing is
That is what I understand you're telling me about Lambda 2. But will Lambda do anything else more than that?
computing power, no? Computing
It
power,
will
like
create.
it's clear cut saying you would like to upgrade your or you would like to redesign your process for the highly availability. Instead of you would like to go for the EC2, you can simply go for the Lambda as well, which is very good integrated with the S3. In this way, you are going to have much more visibility about the things.
I think the Lambda will run the scheduled task. Is that right
Yeah,
understanding?
they run the scheduled task, but they also integrate with the S3 as well.
Right. Okay, got it. I think that makes sense. Okay, and Amazon instance runs a scheduled task to perform this. Okay. An application is running on Amazon EC2 instance in a private subnet. The application needs to read and write data into this, and corporate policy requires that the traffic should not go to internet. Okay, how can these requirements be met? Configure a NAT gateway in a public subnet, route all traffic to Amazon Kinesis through NAT gateway. Configure gateway VPN endpoint for Kinesis and route all traffic through the VPC. It will be used in a configure an interface VPC endpoint. Configure an interface VPC endpoint for Kinesis and route all traffic to Kinesis through the VPC endpoint. So PNC. Configure an AWS Direct Connect private virtual. This is on premise, right? This is not the one.
Very simple hint has been given already here. If you focus, it's saying it is would like to have the private connectivity. Okay, private connectivity need to private what is it say? Internet should not go through the internet. It's private connectivity only. What should be the two option can be here whenever we talk about the private BNC. Now,
between B and C.
Yeah, and now if you read the B, configure the gateway VPC endpoint. Okay, for the Kinesis and route all the traffic to the Kinesis through the gateway VPC endpoint. Okay, configure the an interface VPC endpoint for the Kinesis and route all the Kinesis through the gateway VPC endpoints. Okay, interface VPC endpoint. Configure an
Ulta,
interface.
yeah.
Yeah. Opposite total.
Configure a gateway VPC endpoint for Kinesis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And route all traffic to Kinesis through the gateway VPC endpoint. And here it is says VPC endpoint for Kinesis. This is
See,
also same, na? VPC.
no.
Acha,
Actually,
interface.
it is supposed to
Okay.
say the interface only. Okay? It is not supposed to say
Hmm.
the gateway actually. Okay, it's kind of
Hmm.
interface VPC endpoint. It's not a gateway actually. Okay.
No, but the second one is also gateway VPC endpoint, na? If
Mm-hmm.
you choose C also has a gateway VPC endpoints. Both has it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we should find out is where does route all traffic to Kinesis through when before that application is running on an Amazon EC2 instance in a private subnet. The application needs to read and write data onto Amazon Kinesis data streams. Application needs to read and write the data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it has to go out from from EC2 instance or the application to Kinesis
Mm-hmm.
and Kinesis. Okay, so I think source is the VPC endpoint. VPC interface VPC endpoint should be source.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so C is the answer, I
See the
guess.
answer. Yeah, it cannot see traffic is going to be maintained anyhow anyway by the BPC. If you see the B option, it's saying gateway for two times. It is not supposed to be a gateway. It is supposed to say the interface BPC endpoints for the Kinesis
Right,
and
right.
route all the
Okay.
traffic from the Kinesis through the gateway endpoint. Okay, so we are
Okay, got
completed
it.
with 25th. Okay, let's stop. Let's
Right.
see what are the
Hmm.
correct answers. So
You can
even I,
go skip to 11.
I will
Go
go
to
to the I will go
skip
to the
to
right.
11 quickly.
Yeah.
How many questions here? 60.
Yeah, 70. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so the correct we have chosen here, right? Explanation is also given here. Each making the assumption and ignoring that ACLs are stateful, so that the port 443 can be opened in a bound, but for outbound it can answer from different ports. You was thinking about the E option, right? If you do remember,
hmm.
Each making an assumption and ignoring that ACL is a stateful. Okay, assumption, it's making
Hmm.
the assumption actually stateful. Okay, ignoring that ACL is a stateful, so that the 443 can be open and bound, and but for outbound it can be answered from the different ports. Okay, EC2 allow the 443 for both. Okay, the way he's saying now, it's like it is the E option. Why it cannot be the E option? It's not a stateful, right? It's a stateless. So it cannot be assumed like inbound and outbound both are going to be considered in one go. That's why it was the C option. You got the visibility. The option
Hmm.
E is going to behave like 443, like an inbound outbound both. It is not taking them in
Hmm.
separate thing. Okay, that's why. You're getting my point, what I'm trying to say you here?
Hmm.
Hmm?
Hmm. Right. They just didn't want to assume that it will, same configuration for both inbound and outbound.
Right. That is the condition there. Okay. We know the BPC endpoints. So see, you have the proper references also. So you already have the credentials. You can simply go through it. Yeah. And you can understand difference between block storage, object storage, and file storage. Okay. So object
Hmm.
storage we know that takes the piece of the data and destinates it and an object. Data is kept in a separate storehouses versus file in the folder is bundled with the associated metadata and a unique identifier in the form of the storage pool. So all those things you will understand much more better way once you will go through the description. Okay. Our most of
Hmm.
answers are correct. There is no wrong answer as of now. Okay, because we applied lots of common sense here. Yeah. And
Hmm.
what are the possible use cases are there? So like recommended for the most workload, system boot volumes, virtual desktop. You can go through it
Correct.
today. Okay, you
Mm.
can go through the description today. Most of the answers are correct. There is no wrong answer till now. Okay. If you have any doubt, we can discuss about it. But I would like to give you one of the most important thing here. He,
Mm.
the way of getting certified is only going through the practice papers, which is near to be 10 practice papers. Okay. So what I'm
Mm.
planning, whatever we have did till this point of time, that's fine as part of the learning. Okay. But we are supposed to know much more than that. Okay. And it cannot be achieved using